What's up, everyone? I am Ernest Dove of the Dove Report. Today, I want to give a full recap of all four New York Mets minor league affiliate games. Not only just giving some of the thoughts, stats, scores, I want to give some projections, how they were doing, some insight, and some planning and thinking ahead. And then I'll also ask you guys, what do you think of some of these guys? I want to start in low A. We're talking about Will Watson. He's making another rehab start today. It went really well. 3 innings, 1 hit allowed, no runs, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Here's the important thing for Will Watson anyway, rehab assignment or not. 20 of 33 pitches, 4 strikes. Very low pitch count overall, and he threw a lot of strikes. He also had a nice pickoff, by the way, so good job on the pickoff. His velocity was only low 90s. It looks like he was sitting more 93, 93, 92, 93 plus. But overall, his stuff is good. He has a lot of secondary pitches. He was heavy on the slider, for example. So he was heavy on the secondary stuff. When he did throw his fastball, again, low 90s, but he wasn't really using it as a needed pitch throughout the game. Maybe he was getting work done on the secondary stuff. Then you have one of the newer guys, the draft pick, 11th round pick, Kukio Aloy, had himself a day. He hit 2 bombs in the game. One of the home runs was 110 mile per hour exit velocity. He's one of those power bats in college, so maybe no surprise. Question's going to be the hit tool. He's had a very rough, very early start to his pro career. But so far, 5 of his 8 hits are extra base hits. He has now 3 home runs, 2 doubles amongst his only 8 hits on the very early season in pro ball. The other guy, we just got the news now today or tonight. I believe it was Will Salmon reporting that Elian Pena is getting promoted at 18 years old. He's moving up from low A to high A. Really interesting. He had some rough times today in the field at shortstop, but he still has a strong arm. He committed his 25th error at shortstop today. But again, this is a guy who's had a 1,000 plus OPS during the month of August. So he's been hot at the low A level. I said it online. I can go back years at this point. I don't know the last New York Mets prospect to make a debut in high A at age 18. I haven't thought about it in years. Rosario, Jimenez, Alvarez, Jose Reyes. They were all about 19 years old already when they made their high A debuts. So David Stearns is pushing the envelope right now with Elian Pena. Is it going to pay off? Once in a while, he can still have a really nice walk K ratio the entire season. He slumped a lot for about a month and a half or so, almost 2 months in low A. But during the slump, the walk K was still a good ratio. So he wasn't necessarily getting fooled, although sometimes he has a bit of aggression at times. At times, once in a while, early on in the year, he was struggling a bit against lefties, but the splits lefty-righties are really not that bad as well either for the lefty Elian Pena. I'm curious to see now, getting a little bit of taste at the end of the year in high A, which high A, Sally League, known as a bit of a pitcher's league altogether too. And for lefties, it's a nightmare for lefties, especially power bats. Elian Pena is not necessarily a power bat. So I want to see how his hit tool translates as a lefty bat. Also, one of the guys I want to mention who's struggling because I hype him a lot, the young 19-year-old catcher, Giovanni Rodriguez. He's been slow for a while now. I believe he had a hit today, but he's been struggling. Kind of going through the ups and downs. August overall has been a very poor month for him, and I think he did pretty well in July. I wanted to mention it. I still have high hopes for Giovanni Rodriguez, but I want to be honest and up to date when certain guys start to struggle. And again, this is a catcher. He's young, playing out the end of a season. These are long seasons. I'm giving excuses, but I'm curious to see how he does giving another year. At his age, honestly, playing the entire season in low A, I wouldn't be shocked if they make him repeat low A St. Lucie Mets out of camp next season in spring. See how things go. One of my guys on the way back, Brett Banks, the reliever prospect, the guy who disappeared in somewhere in early to late April. Like, what happened to Brett Banks? He's finally back. He had a very rough outing in the first game, the first appearance for him in this series. They brought him back now on Sunday, did a lot better, gave up, I believe, a hit and a walk, led to a ground ball getting past Elian Pena, leading to a run. But he also had 2 strikeouts. And the thing about Brett Banks right now, both of his strikeouts were on his secondary pitches, on a splitter and a slider, I believe. He wasn't throwing as much fastball this time. In his last outing, he was throwing the fastball 96 to 98. He got rocked in that first outing, but Brett Banks, the fastball velocity is there, and now he's practicing the secondary pitches. He overall did okay for a guy who was gone for about 2 months. Welcome back, Brett Banks. In high A, I have to keep it short. Not a lot of offense in the game. Maybe just talked about it with it being a pitcher's league, but either way, it was all about the pitcher. Lefty Daviel Hurtado, the 21-year-old. You know I've been talking about him for a while. He just had an outing for the ages. Probably might be his best outing of his professional career as a 21-year-old at the high level. 7 innings, 1 hit, 0 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He now has a 2.34 ERA at the high A level. Now, this is an upper 90s lefty. He throws about as hard as Santucci, and he's younger than Santucci. I really believe in Daviel Hurtado, really because of what other people have told me. I'm hyping this even over people like my guy, BK Fan 09. He's been knowing about him for a lot as well. But I've also had coaches from last season and in spring telling me this is one of the main guys. They actually picked him and Pena as the 2 guys at a young age in low A. They were like, these are the 2 guys I consider the highest value. I believe in the most, believe in their future already. That's why I think Daviel Hurtado could stick as a starting pitcher. Again, a lot of these guys are piggybacking. Even he himself has had a lot of 3-4 inning outings from last year, maybe into this year, but 7 innings at the high A level. He dominated. He controlled the game. The other pitcher, I haven't even mentioned him all year, but I want to bring it up. 20-year-old Elvis Mijares. He has an okay, struggling, not a lot of command in low A. They promoted him for some strange reason to high A. Maybe it's not so strange. He just had his 4th appearance in this game behind Daviel Hurtado. He had a scoreless appearance. By the way, 4 games, 5 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 3 walks in 5 innings, 7 strikeouts. He's an interesting guy now to keep an eye on. Maybe he's one of those rubber arm guys now. He's only 20. I want to see how he progresses. He had a 4-ish ERA in low A, so that's why I haven't talked about him. But it looks like the stuff is there. It looks like a 95-plus guy. I'm curious to see now how it continues to go. As we move to Double A, the All-Star team, that's where I got to spend a bulk of this video because they are who they are. I want to start with the guy who had a 4-hit day, the lefty Marco Vargas, the above-average elite fielder, not a lot of power. Oh, whoops, he homered today as well, one of the 4 hits. He also had a stolen base, 2 stolen bases, 4-hit game, had a day. 21 years old. I've said it a lot from the David Robertson trade. The thing about Marco Vargas, he has missed multiple games. He's been on the IL multiple stints every pro season since he was traded to us in that trade, including this season. He's now healthy again, and he was already a 20-year-old in Double A this season before getting hurt and coming back, having a birthday. I'm curious about Marco Vargas. He seems like a very solid utility middle infielder with above-average defense and enough of a hit tool. I think he can make it. I don't know if he's on the level of like the new guy, Emilian Pitre, but by the way, shout out to Pitre. It's reported he's getting promoted to AAA. I think it's actually Will Salmon promoted that to AAA, and I think the players development and the Mets organization sites, they're the ones who announced that Elian Pena got promoted from low A to high A. The other guys, the pitcher in this game, he battled. I want to use coach speak, the manager talk. RJ Gordon battled in this game. The stats were 4 innings, 2 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 3 walks, 2 Ks. 38 of 63, 4 strikes. I feel he battled. I actually watched a portion of this game. He was struggling a little bit with command. Then he had just enough at times to get the outs when he needed it. And I do believe, even though he ended the game with a web gem, it was actually Mitch Voigt at second base who made the error that kind of went into a couple of these unearned runs during RJ Gordon's start and during his innings pitched. RJ Gordon coming into this game was very dominant in the last 2 or 3 outings combined. This is the guy who, again, broke camp on the IL, and now he's looking more like himself. My thought on RJ Gordon, I've said it a few times, I think he could definitely stick as a starting pitcher. I believe an absolute floor could be a long man. I think he can eat innings. I think he could be one of those SP5, SP6, SP7 type of guys, depending on your team's pitching depth. I have a lot of thoughts and faith still in him. And again, he's been a ranked prospect in the Mets organization for a reason. Speaking of rankings, the number 1 overall guy, Jefferson Rojas, had himself a nice game, a couple of walks, but I really wanted to talk about what really happened. Had the walks, I don't think any hits. He looked really strong starting at third base today. Looks like he's good with the glove, picked up a couple of nice short hops. That happens at third base. I like a strong, accurate arm today from Jefferson Rojas. It's going to be interesting to see now. You have Pitre getting called up before him. I think it's okay. He's one of those bat-to-ball guys. You can rush him to AAA. I was actually thinking before the season ends, we could possibly also see Jefferson Rojas. But when you move a guy up like Pitre, that allows more opportunities for the stacked Mets AA All-Star team here. But now I'm curious. Jefferson Rojas played third base today. They have Corey Collins, the first baseman, playing left field because they need Amick, and they have Jacob Reimer fielding time at third base and first base. Moving Pitre, maybe they'll move Rojas back to second base to keep allowing guys like Reimer and maybe Amick to get back over there at third. I want to see what they do overall. And then, of course, you still have, like I just said, Marco Vargas, who can play a lot of shortstop. Also very good at second base. It's another way to open up opportunities right now by moving Pitre. Speaking of Reimer, he did have an opposite field RBI single in this game. I believe he attempted a stolen base. He might have gotten caught. Now I can't remember with so much of this information in my head. The thing about Jacob Reimer, though, he's still hot overall in August. He was hot in his few games in July. But again, he's been coming back from injury himself. He even made a really nice diving play this week as well, playing third base himself previously. He was at first today. I'm curious to see how much further Jacob Reimer can develop because, again, he's still definitely a top 10 prospect post-trade deadline acquisitions. The Mets still believe in him. Other kind of websites like Pipeline still respect him, having him in the top 10 in the Mets. The guy who had himself a game, finally, Chris Suero, who now plays wherever, including center field. He had a 3-hit game. He stole 2 bases, including now his 30th and 31st stolen base of the season for a guy who catches, as well as left field, recently center field. He could also play first base as well. Really good game for Chris Suero. I've been talking about him a lot this year. The power's gone up. The plate discipline and patience has gone up. But the K rate has gone up a bit as well. And the walk rate's gone up. It looks like a feeling out season, to be honest with me. Little late in the game now, in the end of August. I want to see if he's maybe balancing out and putting this kind of new game plan together that the staff have for him. I want to see how he does the last few series of the minor league season. With a season like this, hitting in the low 200s, I can see Chris Suero having to repeat AA out of camp next year. You guys let me know. Should he still be pushed because of the power, because of the walk rate, because of maybe you want to see help? If you want to have a guy like Alvarez, make him a DH more maybe next year, you have a guy like Chris Suero as the third catcher who can also play outfield and first base. You can go that route with him. It'll be curious to see. Obviously, there's Mitch Voigt. Yes, he had a hit today. Come on. It's Mitch Voigt. I believe he only had 1 hit. My goodness. And it was a rocked double, 103-mile-per-hour exit velo. He doubled one off the wall. Based on how that park is, it was pretty much a home run, but the wall itself is very high in left field in the opposing team. So it ended up being a double. Probably would have been a home run if it was in the Binghamton Stadium or probably a lot of stadiums. He's hitting over 400 still at the AA level, still racking up everything. He's racking up doubles. He's racking up stolen bases. He has like 26 runs scored in 16 games played for the Rumble Ponies, mainly because he's on base every single game, and the Rumble Ponies, all they do is score. What did they do this week? The Rumble Ponies, 6-game series, 16 runs, 13 runs, 6, 3, 14 runs, and then 8 runs on Sunday. This offense is ridiculous because of all the guys in it. That's why guys are getting days off, including guys like Corey Collins, who I believe had a sac fly, a couple other things. He's playing left field. A lot's going on with this affiliate. The last guy I want to mention in Double-A, because I interviewed him, of course, the right-handed pitcher, the reliever, Garrett Stratton, the 20th round pick last season. He came in today, not 1, but 2 perfect innings. His with 3 strikeouts. His season ERA now, since getting promoted to Double-A, 1.88. He also had his 3rd save today. So he's closing games at this point in Double-A with a sub-2 ERA. And this is a guy in his full first pro season in pro baseball. We've talked about it, the interview with him. We mentioned the death ball. That's the new 3rd pitch that he added, and it's been incredible. I want to see how far he can go. First pro season all the way up to Double-A. I think 2027, Garrett Stratton's going to make his major league debut. And again, I'm overhyping it, but I think he believe a steady reliever, maybe 6th, 7th inning guy. I don't want to proclaim him immediately setup man or closer, but I'm excited about Garrett Stratton, especially as a 20th round pick. Shout out to the scouts. Shout out to the minor league coach who taught him this death pitch in spring when he came upon the Mets organization. The main guy to talk about, Jonah Tong. Did all right. He had 4 2/3, gave up a run. Gave up 3 hits, couple of walks, I believe 6 Ks today. The thing is, too, though, he allowed a couple of bombs back-to-back in the 2nd inning off of back-to-back changeups that weren't really good placed. One of the changeups was high in the zone, so not a lot of changeups should be high. Anything high like that, secondary pitch, not a good idea. Some of his strikeouts and a lot of his swinging misses today came on a high upper fastball. So when the fastball's good, that's where you want it to be. He also threw a bit of some sinkers as well. It looks like his fastball velocity was getting to 96, 97. So now overall, it was an okay outing. But again, it's under 5 innings for Jonah Tong. He's had 2 or 3 good outings, but are they going to be good enough to promote him and bring him back to the major leagues at the major league level? And if they even did, would it be as a starter? Would he be a piggyback guy? Should he start pitching behind guys like McLean, Thornton, or Scott to kind of prolong their season in the major leagues as well? Because again, now it was the 1 inning. He gave up a home run, that was a bomb, and a double, both off poorly kind of thrown, perhaps, changeups. Then from the 3rd inning on, he started going with a lot of non-changeups, went back to it in the 4th inning. But again, the velocity was good. He was getting some swings and misses. He had 4 swing and misses in the 1st inning. So things were off and on for Jonah Tong. Maybe that's the definition of his season. That's my wrap up today. It was a lot of information. I hope you guys are okay and watched it all the way through. I don't want to just give stats. I want to give thoughts, analysis, information, and projections. You guys let me know in the comments. What are you thinking now about the Mets? The major league team is winning. The Double-A team is pretty much an all-star lineup. Some of the other guys in low A, high A, Pena's getting moved up. Some of the draft picks like Aiden Robbins have been doing well. What are your thoughts overall now at the end of the season? Are you happier now watching the New York Mets and even the farm system overall during the winning, even in a season that might be lost, unless they win 20 in a row? Thank you guys for watching.